Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night Loving Kindness Meditation. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to have you here with me tonight so that we can meditate on this beautiful loving kindness that is so important in today's world. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to be alive. It's wonderful to be, healthy. And it's just wonderful to wake up in a bed and have food and to have all the things that you need. And I think that we don't really take that into account that often. So I think we should do that. So my name is Alex. If you are new, and if you're not new, my name is still Alex. And as you know, I put a little welcome message up there for you. And if you could please just go ahead and say hello in the little chat box. If you're new, if you're not new, say hello anyway. You know how much I love to hear from you. And so I'll wait just a couple of minutes for that and talk a little bit about this word loving kindness. This is the loving kindness meditation, but the word that we're talking about is metta. Metta, and this is a wonderful word from the Pali language, and Pali is the language that we think is what is pretty close to what the historical Buddha spoke, if not exactly what the historical Buddha spoke. We're not terribly sure. They didn't keep amazing records 2,500 years ago in India, but according to what we know, that's kind of we're pretty sure that's the case. But when an ancient word like this, that's so rich and has so much meaning, uh, uh, gets translated into English 2,500 years later, it can mean a lot of different things. It can mean unconditional friendliness, loving kindness, goodwill, and it's simply a wish to be happy. And it's a wish for us to be happy, and it's a wish for others to be happy, and it's a wish for us and others to do the things that cause happiness. Now, what causes happiness? Well, our positive words, actions, and thoughts cause happiness. Our actions, words, and thoughts that are well-intentioned and skillfully intentioned, and this is a practice. So it takes a while to figure out, well, what's well-intentioned? Well-intentioned, to put it briefly, is something that does not cause suffering. It leads to the end of suffering, not to suffering. And even that, there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of like kind of looking into every action that you do, and that's one of the purposes of this practice. That you can be engaged with your fellow man and be engaged with your fellow people, I should say, and to practice and to hopefully at the end of the day to say, well, where did I cause suffering and where didn't I cause suffering? And it's really this practice, this wonderful practice of self-reflection, not in a way that you beat yourself up if you found out that maybe you didn't do something that was that great, but to look at it honestly and just tell yourself, like, hey, maybe this caused suffering, and I get a resolve not to do that. All right. So, okay, what do we have here? Hello, Lisa. Wonderful to have you. Wonderful to see you. Jean, hello. And the cats, hello. Hello, Eric. Saw you got your second shot, right? I think I saw that. Congratulations. And hello, Tamara. Wonderful to see you. Okay. Sorry, it's the Santa Anas and it's really super humid. And this drives my allergies crazy. So, but we'll get through this. That's okay. So let me ask a question first before we do anything, before we get into our meditation. There's not a lot of people online. That's okay. Nope, just one. Okay. So how are you? How you doing? Is there anything going on in your life that you want to talk about? Anything that's bothering you? Anything that's has you just deliriously happy? That's wonderful. That's great to hear too. Whatever you want to say is fine. I would love to hear, whatever you have to say. Um, you know, I can start with myself, and it's one of those things where I got my first shot too. I got my first shot last week, and now I'm like really just kind of antsy, and it's like, okay, now I only have to wait 3 more weeks until my second one, and only 2 more weeks after that until I feel like fully vaccinated and part of the world. Hi, Jay. And I find myself just getting like, hurry up, hurry up. I want this time to go by quickly. Um, and then I just kind of remind myself that time is going to come. That time is going to come. It's, worrying about it's not going to make it come any sooner. And it's wonderful to think about all the things that you get to do and get to hopefully get to do. Um, uh, Cases are going down, but there might be a little plateauing going on. Not terribly sure what's happening um, here in San Diego County yet. I mean, looks things are going okay so far. Um, so I was thinking about that today, and the days here, it's really strange that in quarantine, I've been working from homes for just over a year now, just over a year. And, the days just kind of go by. I can't believe it's been a year already, you know? And plus these Santa Anas was driving me crazy. The humidity's like 1,000%. So anyway, um, looking forward to vaccine freedom, Eric. Yes, I totally get it. And I did see your foster doggy. What a cutie pie. Yeah. Oh, so nice. He must make you so happy. I'm happy to hear it. Okay. All right. So why don't we do our practice of loving kindness? I am going to guide it. It doesn't look like anybody's new, but that's okay. Maybe there's somebody new that humidity here is crazy. It is crazy. Um, uh, anyway, it's crazy. I'm almost like sweating right now, but that's all right. You may hear some sounds. I kind of have my balcony kind of sliding door open a little bit, and the person over this way in the next unit, and the walls are kind of small. He dropped something, or that was really, really loud and really, really heavy, and he may have dropped it on him because he was like swearing up a storm just a minute ago. So if you hear any swearing, I apologize. All right. Oops. Oh, here it is. Okay. So just get into your meditation position. And then here we go. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that position that's nice and comfortable for you, nice and sustainable, so you're not likely to move around too much. And so let's at first just gently pay attention to the breath, focusing on the breath at the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. And so let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing it, letting the breath be quite easy and quite natural. Letting go of all of the cares of the world. Whatever you're worrying about, you can let it go just for now, and you can pick it back up later if you want to. But for now, we just let it go. Just let my words wash over you as we engage in this wonderful practice of loving kindness, of unconditional friendliness and goodwill. So just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. And so to begin our practice of loving kindness, we're going to start with our benefactor. As you know, a benefactor is someone who has shown us great love and great kindness, someone who's really easy to do this practice for. You just think of this person and your heart gets bigger and warmer and smile comes across your face, perhaps. So many good feelings of what this person or what these people have meant to you. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to radiate loving kindness to our benefactor or benefactors. And however you understand that word, I like to imagine a beam of loving kindness going from my heart to my benefactor's heart. I imagine myself smiling and I smile and I imagine them smiling in gratitude for what they mean to me and what they've done for me. but you can radiate however you want to. So just for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. And now we can switch it up just a little bit from doing loving kindness for a benefactor to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And you can imagine them smiling down at you, and you're smiling, and they're radiating loving kindness to you. You've already experienced their loving kindness before. And so maybe remembering how that felt and what it was for. And your only job here, your only task is just to receive as much loving kindness from your benefactor as you can. That's it. Just receive. And if you feel a little tension, that's okay. You can put your hand over your heart. You can breathe in and out, seeing if you can release any of that tension and just let more of your benefactor's loving kindness into your own heart. And receive unconditionally the loving kindness from your benefactor as much as you can. Now, probably the most important part of this meditation is doing this practice of loving kindness for ourselves. And again, all we have to do is either radiate loving kindness back into our own heart or just imagine our heart getting bigger as we repeat phrases over and over. Phrases like, may I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. And again, if you want, you can keep your hand over your heart, just feeling for any resistance, any part of your heart that says, no, I can't let this in. And to not judge that, to simply just breathe, and maybe you can give it a little more space, that resistance. But don't worry if there's resistance, just, note it. Keep on doing the practice, loving kindness for yourself. And so we'll do this for the next few minutes. And now we can explore the limitless quality of the heart. by doing this practice of metta, loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill to all beings in all directions. And just go big and just go as far as you can. It doesn't matter how far you can go, just go as far as you can, with the understanding that the heart does have this limitless quality. It can include everybody, everything. And so we'll do this practice for all beings for the next few moments to end our meditation. Just open your eyes when you're ready. And just take the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and stretch your legs. Keeping those thoughts of loving kindness about you. And we'll start in about 30 seconds. Because I'll need to stretch too. Whew. Well, that was good for me. I think I needed that. So, now is a good time for any questions, any comments, any questions about Buddhism, any questions about the instructions that you heard, any comments about kind of what your experience of meditation was. Um, I'm always interested to know what that is, just because, it's not a reflection on anything other than that's what your experience is, and so I'm always interested to know what that is. And so you can talk about that or whatever other questions or comments you want. This is kind of a small group. And so I'll talk just for a minute on one of the things that I've been noticing, and how it's perfectly understandable that we're all just pretty much done with this, I know it, you feel it, I get it. And one of the ways I should say that it's kind of, manifested a little bit is, when I do these classes online, um, I have gone and to watch myself like a couple of times, but that's all. Other than that, I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention. I don't go look on YouTube for these classes, whether it's mine or Travis's or Jeff's or anybody else's. The only thing I kind of pay attention to sometimes is like the number of views. And it's relatively consistent, and that's fine. It is what it is. But one of the things I've noticed for all of the classes, I believe, is that the views are just going down. And my guess, I'm not offended. I totally understand, and so I'm not saying it like that. I totally understand. And one of the things, I think that it's an issue with is that we're just kind of done. We're tired of doing like everything online. We're social creatures. We really are. Even me, I'm very much an introvert, and I still am very much a social creature. And it's something that is something that I've really noticed, and that's just really interesting about that. I don't have much to say about that, but it's just something that's happened. So hang on just a little while longer. I've seen where a couple of you guys have gotten at least your first shot, sometimes your second shot. I'm really anxious too, and I want to kind of get out there and do all these wonderful things. And I live here, like I said before, I live here in Encinitas, and one of the things that I like to do is just go out to the beach area and just take a walk, which at low tide I can do. So I look at the tide charts like all the times. When can I go for a walk? uh, um, and that's wonderful. And I love to do it. There's nothing like just kind of sitting on the beach and watching the sun go down, and it's a beautiful, wonderful sight that I never get tired of. I never get tired of the sunset. The sunset is a um, magnificent, majestic time, you know. Uh, um, so let's see here. Well, what do we got? Hi, everyone. Alex, hope you're doing well. I'm glad to be here, feeling disconnected with my external world at times. It's hard to feel reconnected. May you explain how you feel connected in a community sense? Well, one of the things, and thank you for that. I can't pronounce your name, but um, um, one of the things that I think about a lot is, for example, right now I can see that there are 9 people watching this live, and so what I can think about is those 9 people, and that's why I ask everybody to say hello because I know who's on, and so I can say hello to you, and I could feel connected to you kind of that way. Um, so from an online and from doing classes here, from that point, that's kind of how I feel a community sense. But how I also feel a community sense is taking a walk along the beach and being walking around where there are people, and I'm still safe, and I still wear a mask, and I still do all these social distance and do all of these things, and you know just being out with a whole bunch of people, not even having to say anything or necessarily talk to them is fantastic. Just the smallest things, like I said, everybody here at where I live has a dog. It seems like there are big dogs, and there are medium-sized dogs, and there's small dogs, and there's all sorts of dogs, and all the dogs seem to be super super friendly. Like there was this one dog where she was just like dying to come up and say hello to me, some little dog, and she did, and I just had the most wonderful few moments with this dog and her owner, who I kind of chatted with just briefly, from a distance. Um, but I take those moments when I can get them, and um, what I try to do is I just try to make them happen. I don't have to stay here. I can go outside and still be safe and still connect with people. And so that's what I do, you know, and I am grateful for everything that I get to do, every dog that I get to pet, every person I get to say hi to, um, every person I see on the beach having fun, or walking by. Um, I, I think about, and I think about how this is affecting them too. And I always think about, yeah, you too. Yeah, me too. Because I know it's hard on everybody. I know I'm not the only one. And I know that this is pretty much everybody, whether you've been really safe with people or you haven't. I keep that recollection in my mind that we're all in this together. And that also just kind of helps that strengthen that connection. Well, I could just call you Lucky. How about that? There you go. And Lisa says, I feel that way about sunset too. I used to go to the beach more to watch. I will need to get back to it. And one of the things, I never cared about the sunset. I've lived in San Diego for 35 years, and never cared, never did anything until it was a few years ago. A friend of mine lived in Ocean Beach, and one of the things the Obetians like to do is, if they live a few blocks from the beach, so they go out to the beach or out to one of the cliff streets and just the overlooks or the sunset cliffs, and they just watch. And I just, for the first time in a long time, I remember just going to watch the sunset and just watching it go down and not saying anything, just being there with the sunset and being present with the sunset. And it was so beautiful. And then before I moved here where I live now, I used to come up here, pretty much almost every weekend. And I would, at sunset time, I would go to one of the overlooks, because it's on a big cliff. Encinitas is on a big cliff, and so I'd go to one of the viewpoints, and I just watch, and it got more beautiful every time I did it, and I don't get tired of it. It's so beautiful. Um, and yeah, Lisa, Sunset Cliffs is one of my favorite places to go to. It's wonderful, and it's amazing. The sunset makes people happy. It really does. Sometimes they clap after the sun goes down, and you could tell that like everybody's in a good mood. Like everybody's in a good mood. There's no fighting at sunset. I don't think so. And it's one of the magical things about life. It's one of the most magical things about life is to be able to watch a sunset over the ocean. And I'm so grateful I live where I live so that I get to see it. It's really beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. You can go to like Sunset Cliffs if you live near San Diego area. Go to La Jolla. You can come up here to Encinitas, Solana Beach, Del Mar. I mean, they have plenty of overlooks or viewpoints and places you can stand and just watch it. And just watch it. And just watch. Don't say anything. Just be as present as you can with the sunset. And the moon has been beautiful too, hasn't it? You're right, Tamara. Absolutely. And so, I think that and I think that like it's been that way for me, and I hope it's been this way for you, that over the last year, that this practice of loving kindness has helped you make this difficult time a little more tolerable, that you've been able to connect with all of the people who also don't want to have to do this, but just are forced to anyway. And that's kind of that's it's really my only wish for you. I know this is a difficult time, and that's why it's so important to cultivate the heart and with these heart practices, so that you can connect with everybody, or as many people as you can, that you can feel connected in this world. And I think one of the things that we've seen is that although there have been a lot of good things like the Zoom meetings and things like that, and we've been able to like work from home, which I don't want to change. I am not looking forward to going back to the office. That's nothing I'm interested in. That's not what I'm interested in at all. But one of the things that I think we've realized is that we do need each other. We do need each other, because every time that they've loosened the restrictions, like we just went into like I forget what tier, the red tier, the purple tier, the red tier, the one that's not the most severe, but the one below that. And Los Angeles and Orange County went into the one just below that, or they're going to in the next couple of days or something like that, or they just did it. I'm jealous of them, and we should get there relatively quickly too. Maybe next week, I'm not sure. But every time they loosen these restrictions, they're flooding the beach, they're flooding the outdoors, they're talking, they're happy, they're doing all these different types of things. And this YouTube and Zoom is fine, but we do need each other. We can't continue to do this. Yeah. The real pandemic is trying to make us not human. Well, it's exposing our humanity. And I think that we kind of maybe took it for granted a little bit how much we need each other, until we had to go into a pandemic and do everything remotely and do everything by Zoom and by Microsoft Teams and Skype and whatever else that there is, remotely. And it's fine to do for a little while. That's fine. Um, uh, but we need each other, and we need to be in contact with each other for us to really survive and thrive, just as a species. And it gets me to thinking about um, the more I think about how humans need that connection, how stupid racism is. And we've seen a lot of it. And I've always known it was stupid, but it just brings that point home even more. You know. Hi, Brian. Will we continue the YouTube live sessions even when the DBT opens? I know people might feel weird being filmed. So Brian, what we do is we film me. So they will film me. I will be, or Jeff or Travis will be in front, and they will just film me. None of the audience will be filmed. So there's nothing to be weird about. Now, is that going to happen? Now, I know for Jeff's class that Jeff always did that anyway. So if you went to the Tuesday night class or the Saturday morning class at 11 a.m., that Jeff had already been filming it anyway and posting it to YouTube. Pandemic, no pandemic. And will that be the same for all of the classes? When this is done, I don't know. I don't know. We'll probably see what kind of interest there is, because there's still value in it, of course, because if you miss it, you want to see it, Um, oh, and hi, Brian. But yeah, so if you'd be interested in something like that, then yeah, let us know. We'll be happy to kind of take a look at it and see what it would take to do that. And Eric, yes, typing on here on my phone is a step down from talking to you at the class. Yeah, and it's a step down from like talking to you in person as well. And just like I said, one of the ways I can one of the skills I've developed is reading a room. And when I sit up in front of everybody, and I can tell, a lot of times when the mood of the room is kind of a little dour and just kind of sluggish, and when you're happy, and all these different types of things. And that's when I can just really look at you and say, okay, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And just kind of get a little feedback from you, because I know that it's you don't want to type in a freaking chat box whatever your question is or whatever you're feeling. It can seem really, really impersonal, and I totally get it. I don't have a problem with that. I totally get it. Yes, Brian, I like attending in person too. Um, and Eric says, though I consider us lucky that we have this technology and the ability to develop a vaccine faster than during any pandemic in history. I know, it's been fantastic. So as you know, like these mRNA vaccines, the technology has been a technology since for like 20 years, I think it's been. Um, and because of that technology, they were able to develop the vaccine literally in a weekend. When they got now I might be like screwing up my wording here, so if I do that, I apologize. So when they got the genomic sequence for the vaccine, for the virus, from like China or from the WHO, from the World Health Organization, the people who developed the vaccine developed it in a weekend using this technology. That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. And they had no vaccine back in 1918. Whew, it's amazing. I'm so unbelievably grateful for that. Yeah, they were a lot tougher, right? Oh my God! But it's amazing. They were a lot tougher, but they still face the same issues: people not wanting to wear a mask, people not taking this seriously. The things kept spiking and going down, and spiking and going down, and it went through all the same um, like processes that we went through, like 100 years later. You know. and we had a vaccine. So, um, and we're lucky for that. And so, things are getting better. Certainly in California, I know nationwide they're going up, but California so far is doing better. Oh goodness, it is crazy. I know it's crazy. Um, Anything else before we end for tonight? I feel better now. I opened the window over here. It wasn't too noisy, hopefully. There's a cricket. I love the cricket. The crickets are going. Well, all right, guys. It was wonderful to be here with you today, doing this practice of loving kindness. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. I know it. I know you're getting antsy and anxious about everything, but we're almost there, and we can do it. And I'm so glad that you're here with me. All right. Um, let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this meditation, this discussion, be received by all beings. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that you are. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.